eyes clear. How my baby's running this the block cause you fear what you do to you if you get dirty hands and veneer. What you do, what she is, little boy, I tell you this. If baby wants sit, she can sit. If baby says lit, it's lit. Got your bank account and not cute. If she said it loud, it's the truth. If baby wanna ride, she can ride. Baby needs some time, she got time. Got your bank account and not cute. She can make it count, how about you? She would put you in the bag, yeah. Wouldn't even need a planet. If she wanted, she a magnet. They should let her name a planet. Everything she drop like Corona, viral, make the world start over like a owner. She ain't about the set, but they really wanna throne her. Listen, she like Bay, she like Hover. Self-employed, moving paper better than some Billy Boy. Made a choice on the regular, she bring a milli home. Click my phone, get my ass up, get a dinner going. Watch she out there, making sure that you all know. Baby wants sit, she can sit. Baby says lit, it's lit. Got your blank account and not cute. Said loud, it's the truth. If baby wanna ride, she can ride. Baby needs some time, she got time. Got your bank account and not cute. She can make it count, how about you? She be always making money. If it's raining, if it's sunny, she make time and call me honey every day. Drop a couple bands on the click, they need pay. Then a couple more on the tip, baby saves. Daddy's just the everyday, imagine holiday. If I get the 50s, then she get me holidays. Signing with the fly, if you meet her, know it's true. So if she ever asks you, you know that baby wants sit, she can sit. Baby says lit, it's lit. Got your black account and not cute. If she said loud, it's the truth. If baby wanna ride, she can ride. Baby needs some time, she got time. Got your bank account and not cute. She can make it count, how about you?
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of Unapologetic. All right, I am Mandrell. This is Unapologetic with Mandrell. Just me. And this is my cute little sister, kid sister, Shamaria. As you all know, you all know her as Shoo Shoo. I still got to slap Black Man right in his face for giving her the ridiculous nickname.
What's ridiculous about that?
Shoo Shoo. He did that. You know why he called you that, right? He couldn't think of anything else. Like he couldn't think of anything else.
I mean, it's easy to remember.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? And for that too, that little clip there, he's got to get the fire slapped out of his mouth. Seriously. I'm gonna learn him though. I'm gonna learn him. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, back to our show tonight is a very good one. I got some not just opinions, but insight onto this. Onto this subject. We didn't go with the name I wanted to go with. The title I wanted to call it was Entre-poor-neurs.
Right. You're right. We're trying to, keep up with being monetized, okay? So we can't use that.
And that's a problem. If you work for money, you'll never be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs don't work for money.
Right.
Gotcha. Now, so thank you very much. I'm always right. You know that.
Of course you are.
So anyway, yeah, we have a very good one. This is a subject my sister brought up and brought to my attention that she wanted to talk about. And I agree because this is a very, very important subject. There are so many people who talk about being entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship, but have no clue what they're getting themselves into. They have no clue what is involved in it. And when they step into it, then they find out how difficult this really is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or my biggest thing too is that the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because there has been this whole entrepreneurship culture now where everybody wants to be a business owner and it's like a bad thing to clock in and work a 9 to 5. And even though you call yourself an entrepreneur, there are many people out here who have business licenses but ain't making no money for no business. You have a lot of people out here who call themselves entrepreneur, but at the same time they they ain't making no money. A lot of people out here talk about, oh yeah, I'm a business owner. Right.
Yeah.
But what does paperwork look like?
Right. And
paperwork look like?
Right.
So and this is not to quote unquote shame people who are entrepreneurs. It's not to say anything bad about people who are business owners who are legitimately making money. It's not to shame anybody who is pursuing or trying to start a business. There's nothing to be shameful about that. We're not shaming it. It's just that we need people to be honest and be self-aware and take shame away from working a 9 to 5, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with that either.
Well, I may have a difference of opinion on that one, but anyway, let's do a little housekeeping. Let's pay some bills. We'd like to thank everyone for showing up, everyone in the chat. We got Peace Love, who's slowly becoming a regular here nowadays. Thank you, Peace Love. Thank you for coming.
Hey, Peace Love. Hey, Vaughn.
Hey,
Snuggles in the house. You know what I mean? Brooklyn son, what up? I know you here in New York somewhere. You outed yourself already on another screen. That's something different.
Talking too much. That's how you outed himself. Let's see. We got Dre Blanco. Dre Blanco, thank you for coming out and supporting the platform. Appreciate it. I just met Red Lipstick Vibes today. I just met this woman, Red Lipstick Vibes today. Like
you did?
I just met her today. She's super cool. She comes over to the platform and supports it. Yeah.
I see Red Lipstick Vibes on a couple of different platforms. How you doing, girl?
And let's thank our first ever supporter of the platform, Big Bad Bull.
Yes,
Big Bad Bull. Yeah, he's the first one to donate money to our cause. Big Bad Bull, full well, brother, you are always appreciated.
Right.
And speaking of donating to the cause, okay, our Cash App and the PayPal is scrolling right there at the bottom of your screen. People, please dive into those checkbooks, pocketbooks, your Cash Apps, your EBT. You know what I'm saying? Referee, whatever whatever those poor people use.
The motto it's the end of the month. Take cash, check, credit, debit, WIC, EBT. We take PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, whatever you got. All forms of payment are accepted. But for this here platform, we take Cash App and PayPal. It's scrolling at the bottom. Hey Corey, how you doing? She was more cute.
Yeah, that's my boy Corey Hagan. I like Corey. Corey's cool. Who knew that Corey Hagan was a poet?
Yes.
Yeah, who knew that? But people, we know it's at the end of the month. We get it. But you should have had some money left over. There's no reason for you to go around spending all your whole paycheck like that. That's ridiculous. Let's have to acknowledge my day one and forever friend, Jenny Morena.
Hey Jenny, how you doing?
We have the Canadian-born Nigerian. You want to come with to put the platform.
Black David, what's good, brother?
Can I say something? I want to come up to support the platform.
Quincy, is it Ryerson? I think I said that. I think that's right.
In my country, Nigeria.
How you doing, Quincy?
I come from a polygamous background.
Listen, you gonna leave Black David.
I'm gonna leave Black David alone. I'm gonna leave him alone. Vaughn Bryant, thank you for showing up as usual. Thank you very much. Boss Lady Iris, no clue who you are. Never seen you before. But thank you if you are new to this show. Okay.
And thank you, Black Man Unfiltered. We love you.
And co-host Mandrell, listen to her. He's going to give you my show. Well, that's fine. I mean, if you're going to give her my show, give her my show. It gives me more time to do things I do. That's right. Because, listen, I got time. Listen, I donate my time to this platform, okay? I could go off and start and keep making money.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, I could be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you listen, if I have time to say everything I want to say tonight, yeah, boy. Some people ain't gonna like what I got to say.
A lot of people don't like it.
Bruh, man, from the fifth floor.
Oh Lord. How you doing?
Yeah. The man of prestige. Now I like him. Man of prestige is a cool cat. Very good dude. The world class. Now that is a person I want. When we drop the link, world class, that's my boy Noble from the work. I want you to come up because I have a strong feeling you're gonna have some things to say about this topic.
Right.
Because the world class, Noble from the world class.
Let's get into it. And first things first, we want to get into the idea versus the reality. And I have 2 clips that I want to show you guys. It's from the one and only Gary Vee. If you're not familiar with Gary Vee, he is a entrepreneur himself, and he does a lot of motivational speaking and everything like that, and talking about entrepreneurship and how ways to get yourself out there to make money. And the first clip is him talking about this whole entrepreneurship culture, and we're about to play that right now.
I don't think you can be an entrepreneur unless you are incredibly comfortable, have the stomach for a barrage of constant no. I think one of the reasons we've seen this great era of fake entrepreneurship, and that's what I call it. I think entrepreneurship got so popular. My concern, and the reason I talk about this a lot, is if you were, got so cool, like an athlete or a rapper, that people force themselves to starting companies. And I worry about that.
And they don't have the stomach for it. And 1, 2, 3 no's affects them personally. They're never gonna make it.
And affects them in real ways.
Definitely. So, Mandrell, you still there? No? Okay. I guess he stepped away from us. So, my thoughts or whatever on the video when I saw that.
Wait for me.
Nigga, we on the show, right? Ain't no break.
That's why you don't use the N-word while you're on the air. Okay, so anyway, I had to step up and get some headache medicine. Thank you very much. Stephen Day, thank you for coming. Big Bad Bull. Like I said, Genesis. Hey, Genesis.
What are you talking about the video?
Okay, the video. You don't have to yell. I'm sitting right here. My equipment works.
All right, just making sure.
Okay, what do I think about the video? I think he's absolutely right. And you're going to hear no a lot. And fear of rejection is what keeps a lot of people away from a lot of success, as opposed to accepting the fact that you're going to hear no a lot in life, especially if you're a male. And if you're female, depending on what industry you're going to get into, whether it be entrepreneurship and you're trying to expand show business of any category of show under the umbrella of show business, you're going to hear no a lot. And people have a fear of rejection. People don't like it. But if you're a person who understands that is what it is, and you accept rejection, that's a good first step right there. Because entrepreneurship, number one, he's right. Fake entrepreneurship, it is, and I'll get into that when I got in my notes. It's ridiculous out here.
Right.
It really is.
For me, listening to him saying that, basically he's speaking on like a lot of, he uses rejection, but like a lot of, I hate to say the word failure, but it is. It especially when you're just getting started, you're starting up a business, you need startup costs.
Capital,
you need also, the biggest thing in a business too is building a brand. People have to get familiar with you, and that takes time. Everybody wants to start off at the top, but it develops and it builds over time. And a lot of times that's something that gets to people too. And, just not developing as fast as they would like.
Right. Like, here's one thing that I noticed in the industry that I'm jumping into in my business, right? What I don't see a lot of is suggestion box. Like, I'm gonna have like on the website a place where people can type out their suggestions for what kind of designs they want. What kind of clothes, how they want their clothes, what kind of designs to make. You know what I mean? And it to include the public, to include the audience. It'll bring in more people. You don't see companies doing that these days because they don't care, because they know they don't have to. You're gonna buy their products
No,
regardless.
they do. As a matter of fact, if you pay attention, everywhere you go now, everybody's like, "Oh, take our survey. Oh, drop us a, give us
Yeah, but I'm talking about the big boys, Nike, Reebok, Under Armour. They don't care. You're gonna buy that stuff anyway. You're gonna buy their stuff anyway. They don't have to care.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
So they get what they do is they get with a celebrity. Like for instance, Adidas got with Pharrell Williams and made a line of shoes, right?
Mhm.
And they made a specific number of them, and the resale value is ridiculous. I think those shoes were like $100 when they came out, and you resell them now used at $1,300.
Yeah.
So that's how they include the public by getting with, collaborating with popular people, popular celebrities,
Yeah.
and getting their ideas and letting them do that. But whereas me, I'm branching out about a bit more. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also thinking about whatever brand, whatever design I like, and we decide to go with, I'll cut them in on a percentage of the profits.
Yeah. I mean, that goes down to like building a brand. Like I said, brand.
Yeah. So that's the brand I want to. That's the brand I'm creating.
You were saying like, certain companies don't really have to do a lot because the brand is so solid, it's going to sell anyway. But
right.
Those companies still shelf out millions upon millions upon millions of dollars.
Market research, yeah.
Advertising.
Yeah, and market research as well. They still do market research.
Right, because that drives your sales. Mm-hmm. Letting your customer, number one, know about your product, and then number two, if you can match, like people are drawn to things that are familiar or people that are familiar. Faces that are familiar, faces that they know. So yeah, they use celebrities and they use people who have big names because it makes people say, "Oh, that celebrity, that's my favorite celebrity. She or he uses that, so I'm gonna use that." So and a lot of times that's especially with Nike in particular, that's really what blew them up.
Right. I mean, well, Peace Love has an interesting point. It's just in a creative space of entrepreneurship, you create your portfolio and people either move forward or not. There isn't a sales stance to really take. True. Full-time business owners for over 2.5 years. Mm-hmm. Full-time business owner for over 2.5 years. Gotcha. And see, here's the thing. The rules do change depending on the type of business you got. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, because real entrepreneurs, they operate under, because I got it here under my notes. Real entrepreneurs operate. Entrepreneurship is a mindset first, skill set second, and the rules. Okay, so the rules of an everyday Joe are going to be completely different than the rules of a small business. Small business rules are going to be completely different from big business rules. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They work on different rules, and the skills, and with these different tiers, the mindset changes, the skill set changes, you know what I'm saying? Along with those rules, depending on where you fit in, you know what I'm saying? Because I listen to entrepreneurs and I take notes a lot, like Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki, who else? Mark Cuban, you know what I'm saying? I watch and listen to these guys, and it's not so much just their knowledge that I'm looking for, it's their mindset that I'm trying to understand. Right. Because in order for you to operate at that level, you have to have a different mindset, and you're not going to get anywhere without having the mindset. There's a few commonalities between them. And is that you're not going to enter any business of competition unless you're extremely lucky. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have competition, you know. Now this means someone else, this also means that someone else knows your business either as well as you do or better. And if you walk into a competitive environment and they still know more than you do, you're going to lose. Right. And most people don't consider this. You know, they don't take the time to educate themselves and learn more about their customers, nor their business industry. Right. Because a lot of times people get into things, especially when it comes to retail, it looks easy. I got a product. And it's so not. I'm a seller. I got a product. I'm a seller. And it's so easy. Your start off clientele is always going to be family and friends, but it's only going to be
only so much that they purchase from you, unless they actually believe in the product themselves, and then they'll push it. But you know, a lot of times they'll buy it like just to support. But you know, they ain't necessarily like a solid customer themselves.
Right.
So a lot of people just think that it's easy, and it's not.
It's not at all. For instance, 76% of Americans, you know, I'm like just sticking here on the mindset for a minute, right? The mindset of an entrepreneur versus the everyday Joe. A real entrepreneur is what I'm talking about, right? 76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 64% of Americans have a business that do have a business. They either break even or lose money. That's 64%. Most people don't have any money, and they've accepted the fact that they don't have any money. Most people can't afford a $400 emergency, but they'll save up their money.
Starting a business too, you have to be willing to lose money.
Right.
Because especially in the beginning, it's going to be a lot of money you're going to shell out and not get a return on it.
Yeah.
And you have to be in a position where you can afford to lose that money.
And for instance, here's another interesting statistic for you. There are about 28 million small businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
24 million of those are single person owned. Mm-hmm. Single member LLCs, 24 million.
Mm-hmm.
Single member LLCs. They're not making any money, baby.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? And it's the mindset. The one constant that I've heard from all the billionaires, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard from billionaires is lack of knowledge, in that case, education, mm-hmm. and work ethic. Lack of work ethic.
Right. A lot of people lack work ethic. Okay, that's like the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. People lack work ethic. Like actually getting out here, putting together a product. Number one, do you know how many people don't even finish putting together a product? So Quincy says a lot of entrepreneurs come off like snake oil salesmen. Yeah, especially the ones who take the shortcuts. They don't have a business model. They don't, they don't have a business plan. They just, this looks easy. I'm gonna do it. You know, it doesn't work like that.
Right, and they're not. Those people are not trying to be entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. Like you got Peace Love down there who says, "Not true. It depends on your product. I make 6 figures." We get it, Peace Love. You're one of those few who are making money.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying? And congratulations to you. Big ups on you. I support Black businesses and I support sisters getting out there getting it. But
is that after taxes and after all your expenses?
Yeah, I was about to get into that too because
listen, gross versus net is something different.
Yeah, I'm about to say, listen, them taxes.
You know what I mean? My gross, what I bring home is different. What my net is different than what I gross on my paycheck. When I get a check, what I actually bring home versus how much that paycheck said I should have got, something totally different. So
like that's why like doctors and lawyers
after taxes,
it's like look, doctors and lawyers, they make good money, right? Mm-hmm. But if you ask them, okay, how much you paying taxes? It's ridiculous. They're getting creamed. They're getting absolutely slaughtered when it comes to those taxes, even if they don't know it. They're getting slaughtered with those taxes, right? Because they got nothing to write off. Even like, if a doctor owns his own practice, you're not really writing much off there, man. Right? But when an entrepreneur makes $1 million, mm-hmm. he takes home $1 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, again, the rules are different.
Right.
You might own your own practice as a doctor or a lawyer, but you're not an entrepreneur.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They absolutely are. Okay.
Yeah. You're taking home a good paycheck. Yeah, there's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, you paying $700,000 out of that $1 million, you still took home $4 million. That's nothing to sneeze at. It's a good chunk, but look at how much you paid in them taxes.
Right.
You paid more than half of your taxes. So it's like you're not an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs would have taken home that whole $1 million.
Right.
How many $1 million? What you take home? $400,000? Yeah, you're not an entrepreneur, man. You're paying taxes. Entrepreneurs don't pay taxes.
LLC owners aren't making money. That's untrue. Well, here's the thing.
I didn't say single member LLCs make no money.
Here's the thing. Yes, they are entrepreneurs out there making money. You know, I'm not saying that they're not, but there's not as many as people make it seem.
That's
the
what I'm saying.
The majority of people out here claiming to be entrepreneurs, really, if they are making money, it's the equivalent of a side hustle. It's not like just I make money off of this one single business. Like my whole livelihood is sustained off of this one business. It's a side hustle. I'm getting money here, I'm getting money there, getting money here, and I'm still working a day job. And people are claiming or glamorizing or trying to put up a persona that is false.
Right.
And you know, because and the title, like, yes, it's great to be an entrepreneur. It's great to be able to, and this is if you are one of those business owners who actually have a staff. It's great to be able to, you know, cut a paycheck to people. It's great to be able to say that, hey, you know, people can pay their bills and feed their family off of, you know, something that I built. But the vast majority of people aren't doing that. It's a facade.
Right.
Speaking of that, I want to get into the next clip because Gary Vee speaks on this also. So, admin, can we pull that up?
It's a hard line for me because I'm the other. And so I don't want people to think I'm saying I can do it, you can't. Right. I would love for self-awareness to become a much bigger conversation in society. I think it's incredible to be the number 3. Do you know how great it was to be Phil Knight's number 3? You made a lot more money than most people's number 1. And I think there's an incredible amount of people that I've come across over the last decade that were meant to be great number 3s and 4s who've really put themselves into an unhappy framework trying to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Yeah, and also I like to say, when I said 28 million small businesses out there, only 24 million of them are single member LLCs. Mm-hmm. You're a business owner. You're not an entrepreneur.
Right.
You're a business owner, yes, but you're not an entrepreneur.
Right. And
entrepreneurs start companies, plural, and they invest in real estate. Mm-hmm. And because they have the combination of both, they don't pay taxes.
Right.
And then they do things like they use debt to their advantage. Yes. For instance, Grant Cardone, and when I found out how they did it, it's not even an ingenious idea to do. It's simply the rules. It's simply the law of the land. It's the rules. It's like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? It's simply the rules. It ain't even an ingenious thing to do. Like, they'll say I'm an entrepreneur and I borrowed $70 million, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm putting that $70 million to work. It's working. It's making my company's making money. I'm paying the debt off, right? I borrowed this money at 5%, right? Now let's say interest rates drop like they have in the past year or two, right?
Right.
Interest rates come down to 2%. I now refinance that loan.
Right. Yeah.
And I get the new interest rate. I've made a fortune. Mm-hmm. I got 3% of the interest is gone instantly. Mm-hmm. And I've made a fortune already. just
right.
Like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what entrepreneurs do.
That's the thing, knowing the system. Knowing the system and knowing how to make it work for you. It
skill set and knowledge. There you go.
It is. And I hate to say this. It's just like, I think if so many people who are because you got a lot of people on the welfare system who know the system.
Yeah, but that's
and ride the system and make it work for them. If they could learn the business system, if they would learn the business system and learn how to ride that system, you know, they would be on a much better end. I think on the economic and on the economic scale, if they would learn that business, that system and make it work.
I think I upset Peace Love. Didn't mean to upset her, but I mean, we did warn you. Like, we're not taking shots at anybody. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the. Oh, hold on, Luke Hazley. Yeah, like I said, that was an example of how entrepreneurs use things like debt to their advantage.
Right.
Business owners don't usually do that. Now, don't get me wrong. You, as a business owner, you can make a really good chunk of change.
Well,
You can earn. Hold on. You can make a really good living, but the
Mhm.
rules are different. You can't use rules to your advantage as a business owner.
But here's the thing: most people don't know the system. They don't know the rules. They're not
Most people don't. Yeah.
savvy, and they make. And a lot of businesses fail because people make expensive mistakes.
Yeah, they do.
Because
Like
they
Kiyosaki
don't
said,
know
they
the
make.
law.
Yeah.
They don't know the system, and they make very expensive mistakes. And then on top of that, like they really don't have the money to sustain themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of people aren't great entrepreneurs. And here's the thing too, which is speaking of not great entrepreneurs. One thing Gary Vee said in that video, he was like, self-awareness is a conversation that needs to be happening because everybody is just not built that way. Everybody's just, it just doesn't have the capacity to do it. Either they don't have the drive, the motivation, or the business sense. And it's okay. What's wrong with being number 3?
Right. Well, number 3 is making a really good living.
Right.
You don't have to be number 1. You know what I'm saying? I mean, try, yeah. But if you're not number 1, what's wrong with being number 3?
One of the comments I saw Genesis made, it says it took me 11 years to be able to quit my traditional job, and I still keep some kind of traditional job so I can get insurance cheaper. Here's the thing too: a lot of entrepreneurs, one of the advantages of having a 9-to-5 is one of the benefits of having a 9-to-5 is you get benefits. You get health insurance, you get a 401k, you get paid time off, you get paid vacations. Most entrepreneurs don't have that because they spend so much time and energy focused on trying to keep their business going.
They go on vacations and they have insurance. They have to pay for it, but they got it.
Right. But how many of them have that though? It ain't a lot.
It depends. Like if you're a person like Peace Love says she's been a full-time business owner for 2.5 years. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I would assume that she pays her own insurance, especially if she's earning over 6 figures. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she can afford her. Yeah, a person like that could afford her own insurance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to paid time off, she can gauge like how sales are going or how services are doing, how much money she's got coming in. She can make projections. She can do projections on how much is going to come in later on the line, and if she takes time off, how will that affect her businesses? So she can make those projections and then take the time off.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not saying, yeah, like we said earlier in this show, in this broadcast, we're not trying to down talk business owners. We're not talking down on anybody.
Right.
We're not here for the nonsense. Okay. Mm-hmm. We're just simply saying a lot of these people around here claiming to be entrepreneurs are not entrepreneurs. Okay. And a lot of people who think they're entrepreneurs, they're just business owners. They're not actual entrepreneurs. There's a difference.
Right.
Because entrepreneurs will tell business owners, you're not an entrepreneur.
Right.
You're a business owner. And that's good, but you're not an entrepreneur.
Right. What's
the difference between
an entrepreneur and a business owner? I said, what's the difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner?
A business owner is a person who owns a business and sells products, makes a good salary, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, 6 figures, maybe even $1 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Right. An entrepreneur owns several businesses, each business worth millions of dollars, and they take their companies, plural, take that money and invest in things. Real estate is just an example, right? Right. They'll take their companies will invest in real estate, this, that, and the third. Then they'll open up some more companies that buy real estate, and then that's what entrepreneurs do. Like that's big.
Right.
But they'll call it a small business because they don't employ more than 500 people.
Oh, right.
No, I don't. I don't make this up on the fly. But they call it small business because they don't employ more than 500 people. Right. That's when the cap of small business is, do you employ 500 people or more? No. Then you're a small business. Do you employ 501 people or more? Yes. Then you're a big business.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and then these are things that people don't know. And she's like, he makes his stuff up on the fly. No, I don't. I actually do my research, and these are things that I've learned by talking to millionaires, billionaires, studying billionaires, studying
Right.
these people. You know what I'm saying? And studying what it takes to be one. First of
Right.
all, is the mindset. And you have to be, and like you said, your self-awareness is king when it comes to this, because you have to ask yourself, is this something that I'm willing to, a path that I'm willing to go down? Because you're going to go down this path, you got to be all in, pass or fail. If you fail, if entrepreneurs fail, well, they just open up another company.
Right.
They just start another company, you know what I'm saying? And go from there.
Entrepreneurs are quite fluid, whereas a business owner is usually established in, in a trade or such IMO.
Okay, that's a good definition.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. That's a good one. Yeah, but that's the thing. Y'all can think what you want,
Right.
but I'm telling you, this is what they're gonna tell you if you talk to them.
They're gonna tell you what?
Same things I'm telling you.
Hey, Betty. Yeah. So that's another thing too. I think what people get caught up in is like,
look at Luke Hazley. Look at Luke Hazley. Hola, Luke Hazley.
Girl, I was just about to bring that up. That it's sadly many of women will easily fall for the MLM beauty lies.
Now tell them what MLM stands for.
About it says multi-level marketing.
And what is multi-level marketing?
Multi-level marketing is like your Mary Kay. It's like your prepaid legal. It's like your any business pretty much that tells you, oh, hey, you can sell a product, you can have your own business, but really, it in order to really make money, you got to recruit people. So, and it's called a pyramid scheme, basically. Mm-hmm. Because it works like a pyramid. Like you have, one person at the top who brings somebody in, and then like the people that they bring in, they got to bring. They tell you got to bring some other people in, and then how it works is for all the products that the people up under you sell, you get a certain percentage. And Primerica is another one of them. And it's funny because I was on Raw B's stream. Shout out to Raw B on Sunday. And we talked about Primerica, those keys, the keys, travel clubs, anything where you have to bring somebody else under you. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Genesis hit the nail on the head, man.
Okay.
Hey, Genesis, how you doing?
I'm pretty sure we've all kind of at least been solicited by them. Hey, Mel, is this from the boss? I see where you were coming from. I was grinding. Oh,
I saw the video from boss to see where you were coming from.
I was grinding
my teeth the whole time.
Oh, he's responding.
Yeah, he's talking about me. I saw the video from boss to see where you were coming from.
If you don't leave Mel alone,
no, I'm saying, I'm from New York, so I got to have the accent. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my Lord.
I love Mel though. That New York accent be killing me, bro. He is such a New Yorker. Beach body workouts, essential oils, etc. Yes, Luke Hazley.
Travel clubs are basically.
Swingers group. He said it makes me swingers groups. Don't ask me. I ain't selling nothing. I ain't my nerves. Don't ask me. I ain't selling nothing.
This is how they get over on people, though. Mm-hmm. They sell people a dream, and believe it or not, they sell people, hope. Hope is a business too, if you don't know. But yeah, they put up these videos and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, I started from nothing. And I didn't have anything. I was struggling. And then, such and such my mentor came along or whoever's considered their quote unquote upline. That's the person that recruited them. They came to me and offered me this wonderful opportunity. And they told me I could do it. And now, I'm in it and I'm making so much money and you can do it too. And then it makes people think, wow, yeah, I really can do that too. and then you get sucked in.
Right.
It doesn't work out. And a lot of times, like Robbie said, you just end up with a bunch of products sitting up in your house that you ain't using, you ain't selling, ain't nothing.
Wow.
So yeah.
Now here's the thing. One thing that I noticed that prevents people from being entrepreneurs is obsolete ideas, right? Because it's not taught. It's not taught to be how to become rich, right?
Right.
Entrepreneurs are rich. Let's make no mistake about it. They're not well off. They're not well off. They don't get a good salary. No, they are rich. All right, these are multimillionaires. That's what an entrepreneur is. Okay, obsolete ideas is one of the things that gets people and slows people down or prevents them from making it there. These are go to school, get a job, get a paycheck. Make work for money, save money.
Right.
Entrepreneurs don't save money.
About the business, they need to tell you how much it costs to buy it. Okay, it's helping me. Yeah, Genesis, that's how they suck you in. That's how they suck you in. They invite you to a party. Talk about these MLMs. They invite you to a party. You know, they have like nice little refreshments and stuff there. And they make this like whole grand presentation. And then it's like, yeah. So if you sign up, you know, we can start you up with this right here. What was it? Amazon. Oh, no, it's Hulu. Got a series on right now talking about this multi-level marketing.
What's the name of the series?
Was it Lularu? What's the name of it? I'm gonna have to. Oh God, I forgot the name. Just like that. Okay. Lula Rich. That's what it is. Lula Rich, and it's talking about this multi-level marketing company that made so much money and like scammed so many people. And I mean, it's really jacked up. But like, if you listen to their story, that's what they did. They encouraged like some of like the bigger like the people in the company, like the bigger managers or whatever, to spend so much money and you know just show off. You know, they encourage them to buy like you know these really expensive clothes and show themselves on airplanes living this lavish lifestyle so that it could entice other people to join. And then what they would do too is like their upline, or the upline is basically the person who recruited you, would encourage them, you need to buy more product. You need to buy more product. Hey, Miss Creative, you need to buy more product. And not realizing, the products that they buy, their upline makes money off of that. So of course their upline is encouraging them to buy more stuff because they making money off of it. And then of course their upline is encouraging them to recruit more people because they making money off of it. Okay, you know what I mean?
Here's my question. If they actually are selling a product, how's it a scam?
Yeah, you're selling a product, but really, you're not making that much of a percentage off of the product at the end of the day. Really, where the money comes in is recruiting people. Basically, that's it.
Yeah, so it's about it goes by volume. Gotcha. Right. Yeah, here's the thing. But the thing is, all of this is in the mindset as far as how to be an entrepreneur and understand the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a multi-millionaire. And you have several businesses. That's an entrepreneur. If you have one or two businesses, you're making over 6 figures, you're pulling in good money. That's good. Not a bad thing about that at all, but you're a business owner.
But what if you aren't making multi-millions of dollars? Maybe we're making a couple of thousand.
That's what I'm saying. If you're making
is that like a side? Would that be even considered a business? Would that be considered like a side?
It's a business by definition, but that's a gig. It's a side hustle. You making a couple of thousand. You can do that working part-time somewhere.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? He made that working part-time somewhere. Why go through the trouble of paying business privilege taxes and shit? You know what I'm saying? It's like, because you do have to pay to operate it, run it up. You got to pay the state. And for my business, I got to pay them jokers twice, whether I sell anything or not.
Right. Oh yeah.
I got fees to pay. I have fees to pay, whether I sell anything or not.
Right.
So, no, those people, they're business owners. You know what I'm saying? Business owners, yeah, you make it. Say like someone making 6 figures. You're a business owner and you're making really good money. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think we already lost an audience member because she misunderstood what I was saying. But anyway, I'm just clarifying myself. That's good money. You're doing a good thing. I'm not talking down on you. But are you an entrepreneur? No. You're not an entrepreneur. Because it's a different mindset. To go from a business owner is one specific kind of mindset. If you're a business owner and you're successful at it, you're cut above above most anyway.
Right.
You know, so you're cut above most anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you have a particular mindset to be successful. You understand that you operate within different rules.
Right, Genesis.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And your skill set's different. You know what I'm saying? So again, you're cut above the rest. You're cut above most. But entrepreneurs, that's a whole nother ballpark. Whole nother set of skills. Whole nother mindset. Whole nother set of rules.
Something else I want to talk about too is like most of your bigger corporations or companies, like if you actually take the time to learn the history behind a lot of these big companies, a lot of like the CEOs or not CEOs, but the creators, like the original founders, had at least like 2 or 3, 4 or 5 different businesses that they started and it failed. And then they went into something else. They evolved into something else.
Right. A good example of that is Henry Ford, who started Ford Motor Companies, right?
Right.
That was his 4th business.
Yeah.
But it hit, you know what I'm saying? That was his 4th one. The guy who started Enterprise Rental Car,
right?
This guy didn't start that shit until he was 40.
Right, yeah.
40 years old, he started Enterprise Rental Car. Before that, he was working a job, leasing cars out, right? But the leasing market was like, yeah. And so he started his company. He named it the Enterprise after the ship that he was in the Navy, right? And he flew jets onto an aircraft carrier. So he named his company after the ship that he rode on in the Navy, Enterprise, USS Enterprise.
Right.
So so he started Enterprise Rental Car, and he decided from the gate he was going to compete with Hertz. He's going to compete with all of the other rental car companies from the get-go. That was his mindset, to compete with them. And when he passed away, Enterprise was worth more than all the rest of them combined.
Right.
Now his son runs it, and his grandson is coming of age, and his grandson. I'm assuming his grandson's going to take over it after his father passes as well. But yeah, the thing is the mindset first. He decided from the get-go to compete with the top competition from the get-go before he even started the company. Right. That was his goal. He had a clear vision. And like you said, that was like it was like his 5th or 6th business. Like he had 5 or 6, so he had 4 or 5 of them that failed before that.
Right.
And at 40 years old, while he's sitting there leasing cars out, he bought a few cars and decided to start a rental car business.
Right. I was thinking to go to some of these comments. Genesis says, "How much money did you make, ma'am?" About $2. But I think I have an outstanding invoice for $350. I'm broke, y'all. Y'all got some grant money I can apply for. LOL. Yeah.
What are you talking about, the multi-level marketing stuff again?
Yes. Quincy says you need a base to sell. Oh, I wanted to go back up to a comment Quincy said too. He said, no matter until we learn how to circulate our dollars, we will always be kind of poor. You need your people support. That entails making and selling solid products and services. And you know what? I do want to go into that.
Yeah, here's the thing with that. My opinion on that. The problem with Black-owned businesses not getting the support they need is because we don't support one another. For some reason, we'll buy the cheapest Chinese knockoff nonsense out there, right? But when a Black business opens up and is offering a high-quality product, for some reason, the Black brand The Black-owned brand has to be proven first before we support. Everyone else we give benefit of the doubt to, and we don't even realize that we're doing it, but we do. Everything else has to be given benefit of the doubt, but Black-owned businesses have to be proven.
I mean, I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I think all businesses have to prove themselves, though, because like I said, no one's familiar with you. But the one thing Black businesses can do, especially in this current social climate, is be like support Black businesses, like jump on that whole hashtag support Black businesses. But if anything, all businesses have to prove themselves. Black, white.
I mean, here's the thing: other businesses get benefit of doubt until they prove themselves unworthy or just crap quality. Mm-hmm. We have to prove ourselves as being quality first, then we get support from Black people. So that's why when I tell Black people all the time who are starting a business, do not market specifically to Black people. Market to everyone. Market to everyone.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but if you're going to market to us, it has to be in a certain way. I hate to say it, but it has to be in a certain way.
Okay, with all the cultural appropriation.
Before John Singleton passed away, I went to this screening for Snowfall when it very first came out. And there was a Q&A afterwards. And this guy in the audience got up and he was talking about the marketing that they had for the show. It showed, the show was all about basically, how drugs made its way into, Compton, California, into the hood, back during the whole drug era or whatever. And so, but the marketing was basically, images of, drug activity going on and stuff like that. And so one of the guys in the audience stood up and he questioned John Singleton about it. He was like, well, why is that the representation of Black people that you have out here? And And John Singleton was like, wait a minute. He was like, first of all, I've created a lot of films and a lot of work that is, has put out, positive messages and stuff like that about Black people, but we don't support it. He was like, the marketing and advertising, like we're advertising to an audience, and that's what the audience is drawn to. And, so, a lot of times people have to take a look at, go back to your point, if you are going to build a product or push a product directed to us, then you have to remember who your audience or who your consumer is.
Right. So it's basically, for some reason, again, I'm telling you, number one, so, all right, before you drop the link, because we're going to drop the link in about 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to a new friend of mine I made named Noble. He has a YouTube channel called The World Class. Mm-hmm. Super dope content over there. Everyone, go like, subscribe, fall into the rabbit. That is a rabbit hole worth falling into of his videos. Very much well worth it. You will not be disappointed. All right. Mm-hmm. And he and I were talking about businesses failing. It's because he was saying it's because people are not financially literate. That's the biggest thing. He's absolutely right. Like I hear some people saying don't go to college, things like that. You will never hear a billionaire say don't go to college. You would Warren Buffett, Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, Mark Cuban, they all say, yeah, what are you talking about? Go take an accounting class or something. Mm-hmm. Just go take some college courses on finance.
Right.
They'll tell you flat out, no, you need to know that, because if you're sitting there, but people say, well, I could just hire a tax attorney to do these taxes. Okay. Now when those so I started thinking, I said, okay, if that tax attorney that I hire does my taxes and he tells me, okay, here's what's going on with the numbers of your business, right? If all of it sounds like Greek to me, I don't know what he's telling me.
Right.
And this is how a lot of those tax attorneys take advantage of celebrities and rich people like Steve Harvey. You know what I'm saying?
Entertainers get taken advantage of all the time.
All the time. That's because they're not taking classes.
They don't know. All they want to be is just a performer.
Right.
So yeah, they get taken advantage of all the time.
If you are a business, you yourself are a business. If you yourself are a brand, you have to become financially literate.
But look. Hold on.
Don't
To the
claim,
comments real
don't claim
quick.
your business.
Black
is
man,
black-owned.
hold on.
Bruh man. Go back to bruh man's comment.
Don't claim your business is black owned. It will help bring other race customers.
Yes, exactly.
You know, yeah, I can't disagree with you
Because
there.
who knew FUBU was black owned before they started to market that way? It had been out. FUBU had been out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Black
and
Man
then
said half the billionaires today dropped out of college and became billionaires.
Yeah,
that is
so the thing is
true.
That is
So
true.
the biggest businesses today were started by college dropouts.
Would you like to know why? Would you like to know why?
Why? Oh, knowledgeable.
Because the businesses that they started while in college had become profitable. Not only had they become profitable, they became successful. And they had already taken college courses on finances, finance, business courses, economics, accounting.
It's either that or a lot of them have advisors, like people that they can go to, like to coach them on things like that.
Right.
Like they may have relatives that are in the finance industry or who are attorneys, stuff like that, or who are accountants who they can go to directly and ask for advice or ask or get to help coach them. A lot of people have mentors, and that's important to have someone who understands business, not just business itself, but especially the business that you're in, the industry that you're in. That's critical. That's crucial. That's important. What else? I wanted to go back to a comment I saw Mel made. Says that's because of two factors. When you have a product and service, Blacks always want discounts. And second, some of these customer service Black businesses are not professional.
Thank you, Mel. I have a point to make with Mel. Yeah, Mel says this, right? Because of customer service. The guy who started Enterprise Rental Car, he knew that he wasn't selling some superior product, something that's totally different from the competition. He knew that, right? So where he made up for it was good customer service.
Right.
That was his claim to fame. Because before him, rental car companies just didn't care. But he made his customer service so good that everyone else had to make changes. He forced everyone everyone in that area of business to change how they conducted customer service. Because his customer service was doing so well, people loved it so much because of the customer service.
Right.
Mel is right. You have to, if you're gonna be in this industry and there are other people in it before you, like for me, I got Nike, Reebok, Under Armour, fucking Alphalete. These are my competitions, right? I'd be crazy not to buy their products and see what's what. What's the weight of the fabric? You know what I'm saying? Well, what sizes are they using? When a large for this company, is it the same as large for that company? The answer is no, by the way. So how are they cutting it? What are the measurements?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and you have to research all of this and then offer the customer something that the other ones are not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then do that. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be able to compete first.
That's so true. The Secretary of Common Sense says, in some things, it just depends. If you make something seem exclusive for a specific group, it could intrigue other groups to want to check it out. Just being nosy, LOL. Rather, it's about race, class, or gender. That's so true.
That is true. That is true. But when it comes to race in America,
so it's the prime example of that. They created this whole exclusivity thing around their brand. And it's so many people go crazy over their product. Who else? A lot of your big time luxury brands, Louboutin, like Christian Louboutin, all of them, or Hermes, who creates the Birkin bags, like this whole exclusivity, like you have to, like not just anybody can buy their product. That gets people too. Well, and but at the same time, that's marketed to a specific group of people, demographic. Right. I was looking for and the
that's a class thing too.
Yeah, the demographic that they're marketing to are people who can afford that.
Right. That's the exclusive part about it.
Right.
I'm gonna say this to everybody watching this broadcast, right? Everyone.
Hey Mel, how you
Hold on.
doing?
Hey Mel, how you doing? Let me get this up first. Mute yourself, please. Mel, mute yourself, Mel, please, for a second. Everyone out here listening, through my research of textiles and the fashion industry and stuff like that, you know what I discovered about all these big name, expensive brands? You know what I discovered about them?
Where?
There's absolutely no difference in the quality from them and a $5 bag somewhere else in Walmart. You know what I'm saying? There's absolutely no difference.
Of course not.
Sometimes, depending on what product they're making, they get it made at the same fucking factories.
Right. I worked at
like there's no difference in quality.
A couple of different retail companies, and one particular retail company I work for, they're no longer in business, but they're kind of like a high-end TJ Maxx. It's called Lomans. So they sold like Oscar de la Renta and Valentino and all that stuff for what they call like discount prices or whatever. And so like I noticed now some of the material and stuff like that of like some of the shirts and like the dresses that they had were like really nice. I give it to them. But then you had some of it like the material was the exact same as a shirt that you can go and buy out of the store called Rainbow or like some of the lower retail chain stores. And I was like, this is the same, but they charge them $300-$400 for it. Cool.
All right, and before we get signing, what's up, brother? Before we get to our guests, there are 2 books, everyone. If you're looking to become a business owner or an entrepreneur, 2 books that I do recommend. Number 1, read and understand. Again, people, read and understand the 48 Laws of Power. Okay? The 48 Laws of Power. Read and understand. I don't care if you have to read this book 5 times to get it. The 48 Laws of Power. That's number 1.
50 Cent said the only thing he got out of reading that book was don't outshine the master.
Who said that?
50 Cent.
Oh, shut up, 50 Cent.
I read
another one is this. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is a good one by Robert Kiyosaki. These 2 are good ones to start out with. By no means do not let your education end with these. Right. But yeah, these 2 books here, they're very good to start off with. Now, Mel, you were here first.
What's good? What's good?
Everyone's right. Now, when I drop my line, I will not be giving discounts, by the way. Okay, so
man, I'll support, man. Right? Like,
appreciate it.
I'm serious. Yeah, we got to get used to try to pay on people quality prices. They give them quality work, quality services, quality brands. Why are we doing that towards those European brands, stuff like that? We should be with those type of European brands or Black-owned businesses. So we got to get used to supporting our own, each other and everything. You know what I'm saying? So we could be up there with them and stuff.
Right. Yeah, Mel with his New York accent. I told you. The first time I heard Mel speak, I was like, that's a New Yorker right there. Hands down.
But a lot of times, something I discovered with Black-owned businesses, a lot of times they don't have the same budget or capital, as they would call it in business, to actually like cover everything they need in terms of like, you know, the overhead costs. Like a lot of times it does take Black-owned businesses like a little while longer to catch up with the bigger guys. But like we, I don't know. It's like we always go with the more established, like bigger brands than we do over our own because, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's because the bigger brands having more of an established name. And to, I don't know, we do run our businesses kind of like bootleg.
Right. I mean, right.
Customer service sucks. I'm like, God.
Keep it a buck, man. We could get the money to pay for overhead. We don't invest the way we're supposed to and everything. I mean, if you got these kids that's standing on a long line to pay $500 of LeBron sneakers and all that mess and everything, you can invest that in the business, stuff like that double your money and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's like we find ways to get money. No matter
what.
The
thing is, Mel, most people don't know. Most people don't. Less than 1% know how to generate money. Even fewer of that know how to multiply money.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to. That's the thing. That's what we're dealing with. That's why I said the number one is mindset. That's the difference between an entrepreneur, business owner, regular old Joe. You know what I'm saying?
You saw my cut earlier. I was breaking it down.
Yeah, I call him regular old Joe just for the sake of the content of the show. It's not to offend anybody, but normally I call them employees. Like I would have a conversation with we ain't signing, and I can speak the way I want to speak. I can say if I say employees versus entrepreneurs versus business owners, he knows what I'm talking about.
Right.
He know like we ain't signing would know exactly what I'm talking about and not be out of the way by him being offended because I'm speaking his language. He's an entrepreneur,
Right.
not a business owner. You know what I'm saying? So
I prefer the word business owner.
Yeah, because
you prefer the word business owner. Okay, no problem.
Remember, business owners are upgrade from entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs, you just
No. Entrepreneur, no, you get it wrong. Business owner, entrepreneur is above business owner. Business owner is a person who's making 6-figure salaries from their business and things like that. And they're doing well, making good money. An entrepreneur owns several businesses worth multiples of millions.
Right.
That's an entrepreneur. That's what billionaires would tell you. A billionaire would tell you, no, I'm an entrepreneur. You are a business owner.
Mm.
I'm telling you what I learned from them. It's a class thing and nothing's about race with them. Nothing.
Yeah,
it's all about class. It's all about a class.
Right.
Because technically they're just building their brand, and their brand is making multiple streams of income and being successful at it. That's their brand. They turn the entrepreneur title into brand marketing. That's technically
right.
And
that's another thing too. Why a lot of businesses don't go that far because they don't have a marketing budget. Because marketing is crucial for a business, especially like a business that's trying to establish itself. Like marketing is crucial, and a lot of people don't have a budget for that. Word of mouth is powerful, but at the same time, like you got to be able to get your name and your product out there.
But that's what I'm saying. There's classes out there that teach you how to get these loans, however much you need to create that marketing budget. Start off small, build from there and stuff.
Right.
It's all about, you think about this. We was raised to work, go to school, work, and make this person
collect a paycheck, work.
Exactly. So we're 67 years old. By the time our bodies probably broke down, then we could draw our millions just to spend most of that on health issues. Right. Like, no, that's why these kids now and everything, they make their money in college and everything. And they way retire early and everything, because they broke out of the norm. And if even Warren Buffett was saying that, I was hearing him saying stuff like that, like college was the biggest lie and stuff like that. Like they don't teach people how to be business owners and stuff like that.
No one teaches you how to be rich.
Yeah, they teach people how to be employees. So that's it.
That's it. It goes back to what I said. The obsolete ideas: go to school, go to college, get a job, get a paycheck. You work for money. See, most people, regular old Joes who are employed work for money, and that's your first mistake right there. Exactly. Even if you're a business owner and you're doing well, if you're working for money, you're not going to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Like I said, entrepreneurs go from multi-millions to billions. Those are the billionaires. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The entrepreneurs.
Because you know why? Because also too, they don't follow the concept of time is money. They follow the concept of quality is money. They're not charging for their time because they know how to time management and stuff.
Right.
They know how to, like, you know what? How can I get more for doing less hours? And whatever time I have, I'm going to use that time to learn new skills and stuff like that. I'm managing my time. I think what us blacks, you ever hear black millionaires like Steve Harvey or Sean Diddy Combs preaching about no sleep. And I'm like, are you crazy? I'm not going to kill myself to try to be successful. I want my sleep and stuff. Right. I could be rich like them, but I ain't gonna overkill myself like they do. No, that's that slave mindset. Like, you gotta learn time management. That's why I notice like some non-black millionaires, they don't use that phrase, no sleep. They teach time management. Right. So it's like a schedule. Like they get an 8-hour sleep, and then when they wake up, those 2 hours they're working out, eat the breakfast and reading the book for new stuff and everything, and then they go to work for like a couple of hours. Then after that, they reading more stuff. They spend more time reading for new skills and new opportunities and stuff.
Right.
They help with everything. You know?
Right.
We
ain't signing. What do you think about the conversation?
All right. So, okay, I have several different things I need to push back on. So the first thing I want to kind of clarify is the difference between entrepreneur and business owner. So when we look at guys like Tyson, from Tyson Foods, you look at guys like Enzo Ferrari, the creator of Ferrari. You look at Sam Walton, creator of Walmart. Those guys are business owners, and their name will go down. They're immortal, right? Their names are immortal, right? Ferrari. And so uh, every entrepreneur goal is to get to that where your last name can last beyond you, to become immortal, right? And the same thing with Apple, right? Apple, Gates, Bezos, right? These are one business owners, and also Tesla with Musk, right? One business owners that are the oligarchs, the kings, the gurus, right?
Right.
These are the titans of the industry. So the thing about it is, I think that with when we're educating Black people about business and getting into business, we should do that, but we need to paint the correct picture. Becoming employed and incorporated is one of the best professional things you can do. And the second thing I want to push back on is the success rate. You guys are right. Majority of businesses fail, and 90% fail in the first 5 years. You are correct in that, but we have to put that in context. Majority of those people fail because they don't have the experience. Now, let's juxtapose to people who open business in their 40s, right? So you go from 90% fail rate to now 20% fail rate. Why? Because majority of people, like when I went to Wharton, one of the things they told us that when you start a business, step one of starting your business is work for the company that you want, of the industry that you want to go into. Why? Step number one, make mistakes on somebody else's dime.
Right.
Number two, learn the sales process, learn the marketing process, and learn how it works. Number three, when you have a new idea, try that shit there, because mistakes cost money.
Yes.
If you look at people who are very successful, for example, Stella and Dot, she started her business when she was 38. I started my business when I was 39. Ford started his business at the age of 40, right? There's two ways you become successful. Like Gates, your parents give you 200 grand. Michael Dell give you 150 grand. Or poor folks like myself that I grew up, you go work for somebody. When I started my business, I lost about 20 grand. But I wasn't worried because I worked in the industry for over 15 years. Then I started my company. And once you do that, then your rate of success improves exponentially. Now, second, especially now with the gig economy and things like that, e-commerce is a great way to start. Low overhead, drop shipping, you can source 3PL, or you have all the things in place where you can take $1,000 and turn that into $10,000, right? It's a great way to start. So the thing about it is just that when we're talking about business and success and fail rate, it really matters what we're talking about. If we're talking restaurants, yes, most likely, almost guaranteed to fail. But if we're talking like selling something on e-commerce with using social media influencers marketing, you're going to make some money. You can 2x, 3x, 10x, right? But the thing about it is, and especially when we talk about Black businesses, do we need more Black businesses? Absolutely, but we need to do it in the ways that it work. You work for the people that of the industry you want to get into, or you do drop shipping, whatever, right? But these are the ways that you become successful. These are the ways that you can become incorporated, and these are the ways that you can employ people. But I find entrepreneur is still in the rat race. Like Gary V is definitely a business owner more than an entrepreneur, but he has a very entrepreneurial mindset because it sells books, right? But if you go to anyone who really knows it, the two ways you become successful is you work 10, 15 years in that industry, then start your own, or you come from rich parents. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, the reason why I put it the other way around is because that's what I hear millionaires and billionaires call it. That's what I hear.
Well,
That's what I get here from them. They say that.
Right, but what they say and how they did it is often two different things. Like if you look at, like for example, Michael Dell of Dell Computers, investment from his family. Gates, investment from his family. business, investor from his family. Owner from Stella and Dot. She worked 10 years in the tech industry before she started. Ford, Ford Automotives, right?
He worked in the
He worked
automotive
until he was
industry.
40, right?
Yeah.
He worked until he was 40 years old, then started, right? There are two proven pathways. If you come from humble beginnings, you work, you learn, or if you don't come, you get parents backing. And the second thing is when you're in your 30s and 40s, you have your network, right? You have your network to push your products or services. And lastly, when we're talking about wealth, the definition of wealth is this. The reason why I can talk to you now is because my products are on these different Chinese platforms like JD, Pingdo, whatever, selling right now while I'm talking to you. Why? Because I'm trying to move to wealthy. Wealthy is trading products for currency, not time for currency. You're trading time for currency, you cannot scale. You're trading time for currency, you're rich, but you're not wealthy, right? Tyson Foods is flying. Tyson's sons are flying somewhere. Why? Because people are going to the supermarket to buy their chicken, right? They don't need to be there. They don't need to be there, right? And that should be the goal for our people, right? It's to get in a position where you're wealthy, trading products for money, and then number two, selling to the world, right? We're only 13% of the population, right? You're not going to make big bucks doing that, right? You got to sell to the majority of Americans, and I'm done with that.
All right, we ain't signing. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like I said, I study these people, the billionaires.
But here's the thing, so like something that has to start occurring is because the vast majority of the people aren't wealthy. The vast majority of people, do have to start from humble beginnings. But you with this whole, like I said, entrepreneurial culture, nobody wants to take time to learn the basics first. And like we Simon said, you have to get into the industry or get a job inside the field that you're trying to start a business in, so you can actually learn. Nobody wants to do that because get a 9-to-5 has been, it's like, oh my God, the kiss of death. Why I want to work for somebody else? Like, and that's my whole thing too. Get a 9-to-5 isn't a bad thing, not a bad thing. And like you said, we ain't signing because I don't know how much of this broadcast you were watching, but at the beginning, I was like, a lot of businesses don't last too because people make expensive mistakes. People,
right? Yeah, that's why I made that comment. You do,
or
right, but that's why you work for someone, right? So when you make the mistake, it costs your employer. It doesn't cost you.
Right. So, I would love to see more, especially Black businesses thrive, but we have to stop making it seem like the 9-to-5 is a horrible thing. It's not a horrible thing if you know what you're doing, if you know why you're in it, why you're doing it.
Right. Well, the thing about it is just that from my perspective, okay, this is just opinion. I think that owning your own business is probably safer in this economy than working for someone else long term. In the short term, yes, you pay your bills, do whatever, right? But long term, as far as retirement, things like that, probably owning your own business is probably going to be the safer bet, especially with automation, because work is changing, right? Automation and things like that, right? So majority, like we're in an economy where majority of jobs are low skilled work, right? And now we're moving to gig economy where everything is kind of temporary, Uber Eats, things like that, to high skilled labor, right? And with 33% of the population college educated, right? That's only 33% of the country that can fill these potential high skilled labor jobs. And now we're seeing the discussion of basic universal income, right?
Right.
And all these are coming in because they're kind of shifting and prepping us for people to be on the system and no longer work. So and we know how government treats Black people like us every time we're fully dependent on the system, right? It's not safe for us. So moving forward, starting a business in the long term, in my humble opinion, is probably going to be the safer bet. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with a good, hard-earning 9 to 5. It's just, I think, from a safety perspective, right? As with how the world is moving, when we have like universal basic income, UBI. I'm sorry about that. UBI. I'm saying that for the long term, it might be safer just to be incorporated.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think another thing also too. Another problem is it's also a fear base also too. Why we stay stuck working for someone else for so long and everything. A risk, a chance is going to have to be made. A choice is going to have to be made. You got to weigh out your choices, what you're going to make in life, and there will be trade-offs. But is the trade-offs worth it and stuff like that? When you tell your family, your friends that I want to get into business. What do? They mostly, especially your family, they mostly try to talk you into not getting into business because number one, what they working for someone and everything, or their lives and everything. Then they get some big retirement package plan. It don't work that way. They stuck in the past. It's nothing with a 9 to 5. If you're going to use it to invest in the stepping stone to greater things.
Right. That's because that's the thing. Like, yeah, I get it. I get it. A lot of people are like, why I want to go work for somebody else? Why I want to go work for somebody else? It's at a point where they don't want to work for anybody else at all. But you don't have any kind of money to start a business. You don't have any knowledge to start a business.
You don't have the experience.
Skill set to start a business. You don't have any experience to start a business, but you just want to jump out here and start one because it's this whole culture of, you need to start a business. I'm an entrepreneur. And like everybody just want to skip all the steps and go straight to having all the money. And like, that's where people go wrong. And that's my whole thing.
Like, I think this is so important to have financial education classes in schools. They need to have these classes, and I would certainly start them off in 3rd grade.
But here's the thing:
they start them in 3rd grade and stuff like that, and learn from there.
Here's the thing, Mel.
Technically me, but my kids in the future, my kids gonna learn from home, like financial education. When they're old enough to talk and they start their words and learn to read, they're gonna learn some financial education from mom and dad, from me.
But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Number one.
Hold on, pause that, Mandrell. We got a super chat from Hank
4075.
He says, "Great show tonight, Shushu and Mandrell, and thank you so much for not leaving me at the restaurant." You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that, Hank. So just for you, we got the super chat song. Which one,
I'm finna jump for this shit. All top when I speak, all cap with the speech till they caught up in the rapture. I'm so out of line with the phrase game. Let's take a break, been a long day. Hit your line, what you fall through with the light stick.
There we go, Susie Q.
And the thing is, right, Susie Two Shakes. Now here's the thing, Mel, they're never gonna do that because the objective here is to, don't let them know what you know. Keep them poor, right? That's why they don't teach you about money. They don't teach you how to get rich. No, they're not gonna do that. Okay. Now let's welcome, and Mel is right though. That's why he says that his kids are gonna get that financial education at home. He's absolutely right. You should teach your kids financial literacy as soon as possible. Right. As soon as that way, when they come of age, they will have it mastered. Right.
I say if you want to give them a jump start, you can start building your kids' credit at an early stages. When they pop time to turn 18, you put them at a co-signer, but you're still taking care of that credit card bill. By the time you turn 18, you gave them a jump start of good credit, and then teach them how credit is actually supposed to work. You can actually use credit to build wealth and stuff.
Right. And thank you for coming in. The Book of Genesis is in the house. She's joining the conversation with us when it comes to businesses and whatnot. Now, hey, Genesis. Y'all. Hey Genesis. Hey y'all.
Hey Mandrell.
How are you from Chicago with that southern twang in your voice like that?
Because my people are from the South.
With an F on it? The South?
The South, yes. S-O-U-F.
Okay. With an F on it.
Yes.
What do you think of tonight's broadcast so far, and what do you have to add to it?
This is a good show. I was in the chat just typing away, so I was like, let me hurry up and get up here so I can join the show. The books, I finally agree with you on something. I think
You
this
agree
is
with
like
me?
the second time in history.
You
But
agree with me a
other,
lot more than you claim.
maybe,
You like to
I'm
admit.
exaggerating. But some other good books: Everyday Millionaire, Chris Hogan, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Those are the basics to add to the list.
Yeah. And what I liked about Robert Kiyosaki is that his rich dad was teaching him about money and things like that, right? And
Yep.
he was saying his rich dad, he'd go over his friend's house. His best friend's father was his rich dad. His poor dad was his dad, even though his dad was a college professor, right? He said he'd go to his best friend's house, and his rich dad would teach him. He said he asked his rich dad, "Teach me about money." And so every day he'd go over there and they start playing Monopoly. Great Bill, mute your mic, brother.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Somebody said something in the private chat.
His rich dad would play Monopoly with him, right? Mm-hmm. And so one day, after weeks of this, he asked him, "I thought you were going to teach me about money." And his rich dad looked at him and said, "What do you think we're doing?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He said, "What do you think we're doing?" And they were playing Monopoly. And then when you think about it, that is how rich people do it. Like if you play Monopoly, that is how rich people do it. It is one of those things where it's like it's right in your face. It's right in your face. No one pays attention to it. Yeah. But that's how he started him out. And he started him out with the mindset. Like he said, "Okay, listen, you're gonna work for me, but I'm not gonna pay you." He said the second you take a paycheck, you become an employee.
Right.
And entrepreneurs don't work for money. Mm-hmm. Entrepreneurs don't get paychecks. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing is, most people will hear that and completely miss the context. They'll think, so wait, they work for free? Entrepreneurs are rich. Hear what the man's saying and understand. You know what I'm saying? If your goal is to make money, you're going the wrong way.
Right.
You don't start businesses to make money, like to work for money. Entrepreneurs are not slaves to money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
But if you're going to get a salary, then you should do it as an employee. Right.
You want to get a salary? Do it as an employee. Yeah. But this one, as far as mindset goes, everybody, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Mm-hmm. By Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah.
Robert Kiyosaki, if anybody can send this to him, like we, you know what I'm saying? We would love what sir. Yeah, we be glad, you know what I'm saying, to have a sponsorship or something like that, you know what I mean?
Also, the 48 Laws of Power. Very good one. Very good one. 48 Laws of Power.
Mr. Green, if you watch it, if anybody can send him this clip, like we love your support too. You know,
yeah, we love your books too.
Exactly. Sponsorship, we can talk about that. Hit us up.
All right.
Listen, that's the businesses, okay?
What do you think, Genesis? You've been involved in this multi-level marketing scene.
I have not. I've never.
Okay, good. Me neither. Okay. They almost got me one time. They almost did.
They never got me.
With the Cutco cutlery.
No product.
But you know what? When they offered me to sell the Cutco cutlery, you know what I did instead? I joined the army. I joined the army.
No.
They're like, yeah, you're gonna sell these kitchen knives and blah blah blah. I said, no. All right. I told Shabir, I said, all right, baby girl, I'm gonna let you have that. I'm joining the army.
The only knife that can cut through a penny, it can cut through a watermelon, it can cut through
anything. Yeah, that one, baby girl. I'm joining the army. Great Pill Podcast. Thank you for coming up on the panel. If you would like to speak, sir, you're gonna have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
And join the conversation.
Hey, Great Bill.
Hey, ladies. Hey, Mandrell. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you allowing me on.
Salute.
What's up?
Not much. I was just giving you your time to come back with dialogue. That's all. I hear just a long pause. I apologize. I appreciate everybody for letting me on. I really enjoy this conversation because I can't say it's hit home. It is where I'm at the bottom of the foundation. There are some talking points I mentioned in certain segments where just the numbers, like for example, I'm at 30-cent subscribers, view counts is minute compared to the actual entrepreneurs in the YouTube space. Because I know, me, Genesis, and some other people, like we hear them talk about the echo chambers, like those spaces. And I challenged that conversation because I'm like, remember those spaces where we're at is so small, and our voices are not heard, or the way you want to move, especially if you're claiming that you're a business owner within the YouTube space, if you're a content creator in the YouTube space, whether you're an influencer in the YouTube space. And somebody in the chat mentioned something about, well, actually you, Mandrell, and it was a good conversation in chat about the age limit. And I think we ain't, well, actually, excuse me, I apologize. We ain't signed and said, went from the 40s to 50s, whatever. And I was asking more about the 30s, but he's 100% right with the 40s. And somebody made a comment in the chat saying that people in their 40s, when they're looking back, they're actually watching, observing, and taking those route that Mandrell said, like, hey, let me get in it, to be that 9-to-5 guy, to try to work, to understand it from the ground up, and then make those sacrifices. But those sacrifices, you're not really coming out your pocket. That's 100% true. On my end, and again, I'm speaking just for my perspective here, just YouTube period. I'm from the gamer side, 10 years in, and that's pretty much not spending no money, just only my time, which still is valuable because I'm learning. I'm networking with other people. I'm trying to understand all the not the checker pieces, but the chess boards of everything. So then when I came over here, I had to have a more deeper understanding what that entails. Like, okay, you say it's a business. You say that you are trying to be an influencer. You say you want to be a content creator. What does all that mean? Try to understand that. Do you want, I know we had conversations, I think, with Ken Nabs, like, do I want to cam up or cam down? Like, all these things plays a part. Now I will ask the question as, and we could dive on this about your brand. Because for me, my brand means everything. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the people I collaborate with, the people I work with, the people I just network with. I have made several concessions with people just as the mindset of a business owner. Because again, y'all explained it very perfectly. And I'm glad we ain't and Mandrell explained the two differences of a business owner versus the other guy. So huge, and I didn't fully understand that. And I remember I told one guy just the fact that he was a cool guy, great vibes, but I can't bring you on my platform just because there's no value to bring to that show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's pretty much, he was a very cool person about it. He took it, you know what I'm saying, straight, just like, this is why I respect Mandrell. I would tell him some things. We'll have these positive feedbacks, and we have like a little mini think tank. It's not hurting nobody's feelings. We're actually having conversations, positive feedbacks on what about the brand. How can I better myself? It been times, again, I don't know if I'm listening to Mandrell just about the business side, I'm shutting my mouth. I'm taking notes. I move on. If it's something about the quote unquote content creator side, Mandrell listens to me. He shut his mouth. We just go back and forth, and it's a positive direction where you need to go with it. It's like it's not even a lose-lose, a win-win. You're using me, I'm using you. We're both getting value out of it. That's it. So my question is, if y'all want to touch on the brand part of the conversation, so people can understand what it means about your brand, and I'll leave it like that.
Like how to build a brand.
Yeah, just build a brand and what it entails. Just you want to touch bases on it, because I don't think a lot of people understand that about your brand, because people say they're content creators, but your numbers ain't going anywhere. But you're just like that fool in those spaces, just yelling and screaming, and you still stuck at like 1K. You know what I'm saying?
Right. For starters,
could I add something as well? Sorry.
Go ahead. No problem. No problem at all.
So I do, because that was one of the other things we talked about when we talk about the kind of lackluster success of Black businesses, because I think we're missing some fundamentals here. Like, so the first thing we talked about is what kind of industry, and then the second thing, one of the best ways to get into business is just to offer a solution to a problem, right? Because when you offer a solution for a problem that your customers may have, right, there's a instant level of need, right? You're creating need. And then the second one is all about value proposition, right? What kind of value do your customers or your potential clients get out of using your service, products, or whatever you're selling, right? It's about value proposition. So when we're looking at like, say, like LV, like, because their LV is manufactured in Yiwu. Louis Vuitton is also manufactured in Yiwu. These are like in the Northeast China part where I'm at, right? And then you have others that are like manufactured in Vietnam, right? So yeah, I mean, you like most things what, $2-3 to manufacture, especially in third world countries like Vietnam. But it's all about the value proposition, right? What does the end user, the customer, get? What the value they get by having these brands, right? So it's all about value proposition. Then the second thing is, like, say for example, like I do a Chinese skincare line, right? But we don't we focus really on acne removal, right? Because we're solving a problem, right? So that's the value they're getting out of it, and that's the reason why they trust us, right? Solving a problem. And I think that, and these are very basic, fundamental, fundamental techniques in business. But we as Black people have to keep that in mind when we're doing business, because that will take us from just the corner shop or whatever to being citywide, statewide, nationwide, or even worldwide. That's all. So value proposition, problem solving, and yeah, that's it. Just really those two.
Right.
Absolutely. And like I said, you have to look at the market that you're in, especially in like this YouTube space. No one has a corner on the market when it comes to relationships, dating, and marriage, right? No one's cornered the market. The one who had the biggest share of the market was Kevin Samuels.
Right.
Unfortunately, he's passed on. However, now there's a vacuum. You have a lot of different content creators talking about that subject, and that therein lies the problem. You have a lot of content creators talking about that same subject, and now people are inundated with the same subject, and it wears on you. There's no variety. It's the same conversation night in, night out. So if you're going to offer someone in this YouTube space anything, offer them a different brand of a different type of content.
Right.
Like I like Black Man Unfiltered because this platform, because he does talk about different things. He's brought me in, and from day one, I talked about something completely different than everyone else is talking about. In this small little corner of YouTube, at least. You know what I'm saying? The Chitlin circuit, as I call it.
And Chitlin circuit of YouTube.
Yeah. So shout out to Don GQ. All right. So but also what in YouTube it's a lot.
Well, can I speak as a person in entertainment and performing? When I first really got into like social media, really first started kicking off, especially Instagram. I know a lot of people told me, "Oh, you should get on Instagram. You should get on Instagram." Well, this particular friend of mine who was a marketing major, and he majored in marketing, but he minored in drama or whatever. So that's how he got into acting. But anyway, he told me, he was like, "You really need to get on Instagram and start marketing and promoting yourself." And I didn't understand how to make that transition, or how that translates branding myself as an actor, as a business, because I didn't understand okay, well, when you have a business, you have a consumer. I mean, who am I? How do I sell? Acting? How do I sell to, and who is my consumer? Your consumer is your audience, because they're consuming your content. And you as the performer, or as the host, podcasting host, you have a podcast. The podcast is your business. Your YouTube channel is your business. And the content is your product. And the people who are watching are your consumers. That's your audience. And you want the value you can offer them, to your consumer or your audience, is the content that you create. And marketing and promoting yourself is a big thing. As you can put sound bites, clips and stuff like that, post more clips, post more any kind of photos or anything, or anything that has to do with the podcast or the show topic that you got coming up, the thumbnails that you create, push those more. All of that is branding yourself as a content creator, so that when people go to the Gray Pill, any social media platform you have, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and they look at it, the first thing they should know is, oh, this is a podcast.
Correct.
So as a performer, that's how you brand yourself.
Can I also add to that too? And that's great advice because the Instagram
I want
thing,
to add something also.
I was stuck on, and I'm gonna just call it like it is. I was stuck on stupid with that for me personally. I just had it just to be having it, and I really had to kind of touch bases and dive in on that. Mm-hmm. And a friend that does digital marketing, they pretty much had the conversation. I had to do my homework about that. So I was like, okay, for me, it was like, how do I brand that? But it's like, I'm branding me. So my everything you said is 100% right. So I will say this, also part of branding is your personality.
Right.
So if I'm selling me on the Gray Pill podcast, that's me 24/7, because I think I had a controversial behind the scenes where it was conversations like, where you're not representing yourself like you is on the podcast, but something else here. And I was like, no. I am, but at the same time, you're not, because everything's not 100%. Like I cannot put too much of myself out there, because on the Gray Pill podcast, the niche for me is perspective. I'm having multiple people out there, individuals having great conversations about the topic at hand. Right. I'm not going to digital footprint the crap out of myself or my life, because that's not what the Gray Pill podcast is about. And then moving forward to, let's say, because we have Spotify. If it's long enough for a listening audience, that's going straight to the Spotify. Still funneled around through Instagram, Facebook groups, so forth. Same thing with Facebook. Everything's generated in a nice little web of circles. And then now it comes back to Instagram. Okay, how do I do that? So everything, the stuff you do is a little bit what I'm doing, but I'm on the ground floor level of it, but slowly moving up, because I've slowly been trying to rebrand the Instagram, because I had a conversation where I was thinking, oh, well, let me have a second Instagram, and somebody else in the digital market like, that's kind of going to be silly to do that. Just keep one. You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, especially if you don't have somebody else to run those social media, like corporations, like hire people specifically to do that, because that's a lot. It's a lot. Like to create like content specifically for YouTube, for Instagram, because and all platforms are actually like, they're used for different things. Correct. Like for instance, LinkedIn is more of a professional social media platform. Right. So you would put more content on there that's more like, I guess, business sense oriented, or Facebook is more like, I guess you could say, family oriented, because everybody and their mama and my mama on Facebook. So
you know what? I think that's what Kevin Samuels succeeded at. And so much the way he did. He studied the market. He studied the rules and regulations of YouTube and everything. And even social media, he knew how to funnel it back and forth the way he did. Draw audience to this platform, then draw it to another platform, and he was serious and everything. When I hear him talk to Anton so much and everything, you got to know this a business. You know what I'm saying? You got to treat this as a business. I see that for a lot of content creators and stuff like that. Like when they be stuck, or why they have to feel like they have to change certain words and stuff like that, or they thinking they shadow ban or something like that. I'm like, I don't really think y'all study the business of YouTube the way y'all think they do. And stuff like that. Well, I compare those channels to other channels. They use some words that you feel like you're being shadow banned for, and you're not. Like in everything. Maybe it's your presentation, your platform. I mean, how serious are you on this? I mean, if you're just treating it like a hobby and everything, like that, you're not going to grow as much as you want to. But if you're getting real serious about this.
But to be fair though, and this is by Kevin Samuels' own admission, he paid a marketing company to right. He paid $10K, which you're supposed to do. That's no shade. That is the right thing to do. Right? That is absolutely the right thing to do.
But that's an investment in yourself.
Can I add something about the branding? Also, if you are actually building a brand, then you need to make sure you go through the process of registering and get a registered trademark for whatever your brand is in the show. Because if you put in the work and you blow up, if somebody goes and gets your name registered before you do, then you'll end up having to buy back your own name.
And it's not just your name too, Genesis. It's your name, your logo,
Your name, your show
anything
name,
you
your
do,
logo,
exactly. Because
registered domain name, all of that.
Exactly, because even if you're at a 0 subscriber, 1 subscriber, started off the rip. Shout out to Primal Studies. He does it as a hobby, and I think that's what Melvin, just had a little back and forth for a minute on a positive note. He does it as a business, but the fact that he does it as a business, and I would say this too, Mel. Sometimes when people does it, as a hobby. Sometimes when people does it as a hobby, unexpectedly they blow up, not realizing it. Even because he's like he not unplug as Mandrell and free, but he has he's up there in the top tier in the pay, right? Great job, love it, have all the free time. He said, hey, I'll just come on every Sunday and just do me. And now he might go blow up one day. So now he might have that another change of avenue, but guess what? His brand is already set and built.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
and
that's
you don't
usually
want to put in all the work and have to start all over.
Correct. And for the business
happens,
huh?
When that definitely happens and stuff like that, yeah, he's prepared to now learn the business aspect of that and stuff like that. And that's where he definitely succeeded at. Like, some hobbies get turned into a full-fledged business out of way, but you got to be ready for it. Okay, now that I'm becoming bigger than what I imagined it. How can I take it to the next level now? I need to learn from some people that to where I want to be at. I want to learn from people that's like 10 steps ahead of me now.
Yeah, but who say that individual haven't already learned that as it's a hobby? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying those are the steps you can take. Me, I'm rushing. I already did the homework from the back end, but now I'm in it. So I'm learning as I go. He's doing it as a hobby. And he's taking his time and learn it. So when now he gets to that top, he's like, hey, I'm already there. So all I need to do is just actually really push the button on it. Because even me as a learning from him as a just as a 1K subscriber moving forward, I understood that you don't have to wait to get an LC. You could still get, you still get a tax write-off just for having a YouTube content, because he does it as a hobby to the point where he talks about fitness, mindset, spiritualism, stuff like that, and he actually actively show it live. So
the business ads, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I think I think one time he used to mention like when he got a tax write-off for like 5K just because he used it as a tax write-off. And then let's just say me moving forward as like Genesis mentioned as a brand, and I do the LC. If Genesis, and this has happened too, Genesis, because I had a higher tier content creator. We had like a little Discord, and if I had to, which I could still do, you get the LC like you just mentioned, and then let's say you, for example,
trademark, registered trademark.
Thank you.
That's two separate things.
Okay, thank you. We could touch base on that too, and thank you for saying that. Let's just say, for example, you take my content and just run it through. Mm-hmm. No fair use. I can actually just have it restrict and you're done.
Right. Yeah.
You take my logo, put in your t-shirt, you're done.
Right. Well, thank y'all so much for this. We time is winding down. We got like 10 minutes left. So I thank y'all so much for tuning in and for your input. This is so awesome. It's a conversation we definitely need to have more often. About business and business. Yeah.
We need to keep having these conversations. Keep having more business content. Definitely. They need to be out there more and more.
Yeah.
It's not for less.
Yeah, let's go. You're going to move the final thoughts on why businesses fail, or you can comment on how to make them succeed. Whatever you like.
Yeah.
Well, me? Oh, yeah, Genesis.
I actually think that a business failing is a good thing initially, because in the early stages, when a business fails, then you learn all of the things not to do. So then when you come back, you're better prepared for the pitfalls that you now know will come. And I think that once you know those pitfalls, then you're able to stay there for the long haul, because that's why most people fail, because they don't know the pitfalls and they don't expect them. So then when they come, it's like, oh, okay, wait, it's time to quit. And then they give up before they've even given their business a running chance of being successful. But great show tonight. I loved it.
Thank you.
Putting out more content like this. Yeah. Good job, guys.
Thank you. We ain't signing your thoughts?
Final thoughts?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So I will say this. I think starting a business or even a side hustle is a great way to become financially independent or to earn supplemental income. I would say it's I think owning a business will become more and more necessary as the way the workforce change. We're seeing now in YouTube. YouTube is the fastest growing employer in the United States because so many people are coming on YouTube to earn money, right? So they're becoming the fastest employer. So there's great opportunities to make these kind of financial gains. I would say that I would rather be positive for a change. So I'll say this: to be successful in a business, number one, you have to manage your expectations. Takes about 5 years to make a profit. Number two, starting a business. To increase your chances of starting business is number one, getting someone who can invest a lot of money into you, or the easier way is to go work for someone to make those mistakes and to learn and then start your own business, right? Because to be honest, when you're looking at the most successful business, the average age of starting a business is actually your late 30s, early 40s, right? So I know we're in the mass marketing of 10x, 20x, those Gary V's, those Gary V's, and I forgot the other, Grant Cardone, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
you got to remember, they're selling to you, right? They're selling you. They're in the business of providing you hope and hopium. And we as Black people, we love that. And that's one of the things we really have to fix. So the thing about it is when we do look at successful entrepreneurs, the average age is about 50. And your first million actually I'm 30, late 30s, early 40s is the average age starting a business. And the average age of a fresh new millionaire is about 50. So those are some kind of sobering statistics so that so you have the right expectations. Thanks. And that's it.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, son. And Millie Mill, final
Hey,
thoughts, please.
definitely, man. Thanks for having me up and everything. This is definitely valuable information. One of the best advice I could give is take a chance and don't be afraid to fail. Your best teachers are your failures and stuff. And once you learn from that, you step on to the next level and stuff. Learn from what mistakes you did in the past and learn so you actually get it right and stuff. Be calculated and learn from others that is 10 step ahead of you where you're trying to be at, whatever field or niche that you want to do and stuff like that. So, learn from them. So definitely. Thanks y'all. And have a good night. Take
Thank
care.
you very much.
Good night.
All right.
No final thought. Oh, thank you. It's all good, man. Hey, again, great conversation. Very like Mandrell, real talk, bro. Proud of you, bro. Keep doing your thing. You know, for me, I feel like this is a hobby for you, but I know in the back of your mind, you're saying you're moving to bigger, better things, and that's what's up. So I'm gonna utilize you as much I can and take from you until you move on to another adventure, which I know you will. Same thing with you, Shoot. Definitely appreciate you and the stuff that you do and support on the Great Pill podcast. And so, like always, God bless you. To the chat and the panel, much love. The chat's always undefeated. I appreciate the opportunity I have here on Black Man Unfiltered, like always. Final thoughts. Yeah, man. If you just try to take the time out to understand what you want to do as a business. If it's just a YouTube creator, Instagram creator, entrepreneur, or any social media platform that you want to be on, just understand what that entails. You know what I'm saying? We ain't sounding said it best. It might be 3 to 5 years. So understand that. Don't have a defeative mindset. Ignore the naysayers and just keep on pushing through. And Mandrell is 100% right. If some majority of the time, if you're stuck on the same echo chamber, meaning your content, if it's all about relationships, you're going to get emotionally exhausted. It happens. You know what I'm saying? This is why a little bit differently, just to switch it up a little bit, because that what may be the audience, what they want and need. Also, for for example, you just can't. I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, and it kind of it's like it sharpens you a little bit too, because you have to focus on your purpose. And I'm quoting Mandrell. You have to focus on your purpose moving forward, and understand what your brand is. Understand what you do for you, and leave it like that. I always say on the Great Pill podcast, I don't care if it's 50, 100 subscribers. I appreciate every subscriber out there, but you're not gonna make everybody happy. Just understand that you're not gonna make everybody happy. So just do the best you can with what you got, and I'll leave it like that. With Mandrell and Shushu's permission, if you mind if I do a shameless plug.
Go ahead.
Oh, no problem. Go ahead.
Sure. This Saturday, every 7 o'clock at Central Time, we will be having a topic about man versus machine. It will be a co-ed with the men and women's panel. It's going to be a great discussion because moving forward, you know how the world is. We keep talking about media. Guess what? They having machines and stuff that's doing all the man and women's work. So if you used to be at the burgers, they got machines doing that. If you got making drinks and stuff, they got machines doing that. So we want to talk about, have that conversation for this Saturday. Every Tuesday, we alternate. We have an all men's panels every Tuesday. This Tuesday coming up is going to be an all women's panel. So stay tuned for that conversation where Shushu's going to be leading that, and we're going to figure out some topics for that. So thank you again.
All right. Thank you for coming through.
No problem.
Anytime.
Yeah, thanks for coming. All right, everybody. That's our show for this week. My final thoughts. Here's my final thoughts. Here's another rule that I'm going to share with you that the elite have. They think of things this way: every 18 months, information doubles. Okay, which means every 18 months, what you know now in 18 months is going to be obsolete.
Right. Yeah.
Never stop educating yourself. Never stop learning. If you're a person who doesn't like to learn, don't bother. Just stay stay a regular 9 to 5 person because you don't want to learn.
Right.
Every 18 months, your information you have now is obsolete. Continue learning. Okay, learning about your industry, different marketing strategies, and how to build your brand. Okay, and because people don't do that, that's one reason why a lot of businesses fail. A lot of them. Shamaria?
Yeah, so I think I'm just co-sign with what you were saying. Learn if you're going to be an entrepreneur. Well, I would say this. Everybody who says they're an entrepreneur or that they making money aren't. So don't believe the hype. But if you are serious about starting a business, or if you have a business and it's a little stagnant, learn the process. If you have a business and you're struggling a little bit, find a mentor or find a course or a class or something that can help pull you out of that. That's about all I got. Thank y'all so much for coming out. Please join us again next Wednesday. We appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Later.